Welcome to the Happiness Academy. I'm Amy Bucher. I'm going to be your guide on this journey. This is a journey that I've been on for a long time, and I'm really excited to welcome you along with me. Together, we're going to figure out ways to create more happiness in your life. You deserve happiness. I deserve happiness. You know how long it's taken me to be able to say, I deserve happiness? I grew up for years and years, decades, thinking that happiness was this thing that I didn't really get. Like, it wasn't for me. It was for other people, but not for me. And now I know that's kind of crazy. I designed this course specifically to help people create more happiness in their lives. We all can use more happiness, and it's crazy because when you become happier, you become physically healthier. Happy people, there are studies that show all these things about happiness. Happy people are better leaders. Happy people have more fulfilling relationships. Happy people are physically healthier. Literally, like, happiness permeates every part of your life and makes it better. So I'm excited that you're here because I'm pretty sure you're going to be happier by the end, because we're going to show you lots of ways that you can create more happiness. The big thing that we're going to do is look at what's blocking your happiness. What things are you doing or thinking that keep you from being happy? Because we all have stuff. We all have things we're thinking. We all have things that we're doing that block our happiness. And sometimes we realize it, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we dig in and go, oh my gosh, that's a thing that I'm doing. And if I stop, my life is better. Who knew? So anyway, here's a little bit about what to expect. So in each mod, you have what I call growth work. And this is where your happiness is going to increase. In the growth work is where you're going to discover what's blocking your happiness, what thoughts you're having that maybe aren't working for you, what actions that you're doing that aren't serving you as fully as you need. And so the growth work is where the growth happens. See, I kind of named it. It's not a great creative name, but it fits. So anyway, I put together this workbook, which is huge and so much stuff, and it might seem kind of intimidating, but just take it one module at a time, and it's going to be fine. So the first thing you're going to do is not in the workbook. Actually, there's a link to what's called the Oxford Happiness Questionnaire. This is 29 statements, and you mark how much you agree or disagree with each statement. And when you get to the end, it's going to give you a score. I want you to write down that score, because we're going to take it again at the end of Mod 18, and you're going to see how much your score has changed. And after you submit after you answer all the questions, all the statements, and submit it, it's going to tell you the average happiness level across the world, according to people who've taken this questionnaire that was developed by Oxford University. I didn't develop this. I've just stolen it. I didn't steal it. I borrowed it. I should probably check the copyright. Anyway. So take that, write down your score, and let's see how it changes over the course of the entire academy for you, because I think it's going to change. So, and there's one other assessment we're going to do in here as well. So here, the how satisfied are you with each area of your life? So this I created this. I don't have to worry about copyright on this because this is mine. So what you're going to do is rank on a scale of 1 to 10 how satisfied you are with these 14 areas of life. So with your physical health and fitness. Now, this isn't how physically healthy and fit you are. This is how satisfied you are with that area of your life. Those are two different things. So if I were to rank my physical health and fitness versus how satisfied I am with my physical health and fitness, it would be a different answer. So your daily habits and routines. So what you do on a daily basis, how you go about your daily life. How satisfied are you with that? Your living environment. So your home, your car, the places where you spend a lot of time, that physical environment. How satisfied are you with those? Your intimate relationships. Now, we'll talk about this. So if you are not in an intimate relationship, how satisfied are you with that state of where you are? So whatever it is, whether you have a relationship, whether you don't have a relationship, how satisfied are you with the state of that? Parenting. So if you're not a parent, you can skip this one, and we'll address that later, or you can talk about your own parents, or you can substitute some other relationship in there. So that one's kind of open-ended. Whatever works for you. You need to customize this whole course to you. So other family, so your other family members, relatives, cousins, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, all of that. How satisfied are you in general with those relationships? And I know relationships are tricky because because maybe I'm really satisfied with this particular relationship, but really not satisfied with this particular relationship. So you have to determine where that falls for you and how that works. Okay, social relationships. So your friends, your tribe, your circles. How satisfied are you with those relationships? Your career, your work. Self-explanatory. Mind and intellectual development. So this may be an area you don't think a lot about, but as far as developing your mind and seeking out new information and learning new things, how satisfied are you with that area of your life? Your finances. That's a big bugaboo for a lot of people. So how satisfied are you with your financial life and your financial health? Personal and spiritual development, another kind of weird one. So with your own personal growth, and I threw I combine those two because for a lot of people, they're one and the same. If you have a very strong faith life, that may be something, they may be divided up a little bit for you, your personal growth and your spiritual growth, your development in those areas. So think about how you want to customize that for yourself and rank your satisfaction. Giving back, volunteering, and service. And this is a fun module because a lot of times people will realize, I didn't really realize that those things count as giving back. I never really thought about that. Or on the other end of the spectrum, people are like, oh my God, I'm giving so much, I'm volunteering in so many places, and I really resent it. So how satisfied are you with your level of giving back and service? All right, fun, enjoyment, recreation, and entertainment. So how satisfied are you with the fun that you have in your life? How much fun are you having? And then the last one, your legacy, your hopes and dreams, your bucket list. How satisfied are you with the legacy that you're leaving in your life, with achieving your dreams? And this is another fun one because so many times we get to a point in life where we're just, those dreams we've had to shove aside. Or maybe you're fully pursuing them. I don't know, but it's kind of exciting. So mark those. And again, just like the Oxford Happiness Questionnaire, you're going to do this again at the end. In fact, we're going to keep revisiting this through a lot of the modules because we're going to look at each of these areas of your life individually and dig out where are you blocking your happiness. Because maybe you got 10s on a lot of these, but you got a 1 somewhere in here. That may be an issue. That may be like that key point where you're blocking yourself, and so we can create more happiness. All right, so other things to expect. In every module, we have a couple pages that are consistent for every single module in the workbook that I want you to think about. So this is the wrap up. Every mod is going to have this wrap up because I want you to go and really think about what were your primary insights in the work that you were doing. This is kind of your sum up. And there are 3 boxes for insights. So what new thoughts or ideas did you have? So as you completed the survey and you ranked your happiness, ranked your satisfaction on things like, what's a big insight that you had? And then is there any action that you want to take based on that insight? Now, there might not be. I put that there just so if there is something, you're like, you know what? I realize I am really unhappy with my financial situation. Like I really am completely dissatisfied and it was way off the chart where everything else was kind of moderate to high. So I'm going to take some action there. There's some action that I want to set there. But maybe you don't have action. You don't have to set actions. Like it's not a requirement. The other things that you have, so there are daily journal pages. So I put in 2 daily journal pages for each module. Take time and journal. And you might want to do that before you start thinking about your insights. Just start things that pop out to you. What's sticking out? Journaling is one of your most powerful tools. It seems silly, but if you just start writing your thoughts, sometimes things start to coalesce and come together and you're like, oh, that's why that's happening. That's what that means. Like it comes together. So take a little time and journal. And then the one other thing, the very last page in the workbook are your big takeaways. So I did this because I want you to have one page that kind of sums up the entire course for you. So one big insight, or maybe it's a little insight, but it was powerful to you for Module 1. And then when you get done with Module 2, one big insight from Module 2. And these don't have to be actions. They don't have to be actionable. You don't have to do anything. Just things that you want to, this is something I want to remember from this mod. So when you get to the end of the course, you can go back and go, oh yeah. And you can, it'll trigger things. Like maybe you want to revisit something. Maybe you want to go back and be like, oh, in module 8, like that was, I remember that now. And I've had time to process and think about it. Even though I'm on module 17, I want to jump back to module 8 and review some of this because I have some new insights and there's some things I want to do differently now. You're going to have a lot of thoughts through all of this. And so I've given you lots of places to record all these thoughts and then places to pull it all together. So it's a lot of writing, and I'm not real big on worksheets. You wouldn't know that from this 130 some page book, but it's going to help. It's going to be really powerful. You're here for a reason. Do the work. Carve out the time. You have the time. Do the work because it's going to help so much and you're going to grow so much. Now, before you get started, I'd like you to take a moment and set some intentions for the course. Intentions are different than goals. Intentions are, this is what I intend to do. This is how I intend to grow. I'll tell you my intentions for creating this course were to create a place where people can fully embrace the concept of personal happiness. I was told for years that my happiness didn't matter, and I believed it. And I want you to know your happiness matters. You are important, and how you feel about your life is valuable and meaningful, and I want you to have that. That's my intention for this course, is that you're going to grow in your happiness, that you're going to find those things that are blocking your happiness, find those limiting beliefs and old things that aren't serving you anymore. So I want you to take a moment and just stop, and you can write it down, like write it right on the inside of your workbook or in your journal or somewhere. What are your intentions for this course? Why did you sign up? Why are you here? You're exactly where you're supposed to be. So what is it that you intend to do within the context of this course? How do you intend to change your life? Intentions are powerful when you speak them out loud or write them down or fix them in your mind. Things happen. Let's go ahead and do that. And then go ahead and jump into your growth work for Mod 1, and I'll see you in Mod 2.